should Deebo Samuel's role be? Because the offense was great with literally him not on the field, and now they have to find a way to integrate him in an efficient way. How do they do that?
I mean, when I look at Deebo Samuel, just as a pure pass catcher, I mean, what is he? Third, fourth option? I mean, realistically, just
fourth.
Pure route runner, pure pass catcher.
Frankly, fifth. I'll take Jawan. Like, if it gotta have it, it's Jawan.
Okay.
3rd and 10, Jawan. Red zone, Jawan. Okay. I mean, if you're banking on, well, he might catch the ball and then run for a bunch of yards after it, then Deebo, of course. But
of course. So
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So that right there is like, okay, third, fourth option, whatever in the pure passing game. Running game, that's where he really cut his chops last year. But is he what? Third option in that scenario? I mean, you got Mitchell, you got CMC, probably him over Mason, I would imagine, is what they would want to do there. So you have to get creative and play to his strengths. I think his role has to be very 2019. I think a lot of screens, a lot of screen game, a lot of end arounds. Just find a way to get the ball in his hands and find a way to get him on the perimeter again, because you're not gonna get him the 8 to 10 touches. Like, that's not who he has to be anymore. But in his 5 to 7 touches or 5 or 6 touches, can you get him in favorable situations, favorable matchups where he's matched up with DBs and has to break those tackles, which he can do on a regular basis? That has to be his role. If he doesn't do that, I just don't find a way for him to get more than 2 or 3 touches a game. They have to be creative with Deebo Samuel. Use him almost, I hate to say it, but he's kind of a gadget player now. That's what he is.
See, but what's the problem with that for me is that at least this season, Ray's better at that. Like everything you just said, screens, end around, sweet. Like, yeah, Ray's been more explosive than Deebo on that this year. So, I don't even like that. Like, they took Ray out of that role in this last game and put Deebo in it, and I thought it suffered. So I don't know, man. They pay him too much money for them to just give up on him as a wide receiver and say, you're a gadget player. Here's 3 screens and 2 carries. Can they get him down the field at all? No one's expecting it. I mean, can you catch the ball, Deebo? Like, what is the problem here? What are we afraid of? They gave him all this money, and they're like, there's only like 2 things he can do. No, man. How about like some deep crossing routes? Or is it just at this point, like, it's a waste? You just might as well throw it to Ayuk. I don't get it, man. Can you get some big plays out of Deebo, please? It's been, how many has he had this year? 2? Can we get some big plays? That's what they're paying him for.
The Rams, the first Rams game. And then he had an end around on a run, right?
Yeah, the 1 touchdown against whatever. Yeah, like 3 plays.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't need to play him at running back anymore. He just got hurt playing that position. You got 4 running backs. I mean, Ray's a better gadget player than him right now. Like, dude, can you play wide receiver and get down the field? I don't know. It would be great because Danny Gray's not doing it. Hey, you be the deep threat, Deebo. Run fast.
Is his role to be a decoy? Is that his role now in this playoff run?
I think so. I think that's probably the thing to do. I mean, he's not in football shape. He's gotten hurt. It's not. I mean, it's partially his fault, but it's also the fact that he's hurt. So if he's not going to get there this year, he got like a month left to get into football? It's not going to happen. Yeah. So he still draws 11 eyes when he goes in motion. So use all that and give him a few touches to keep him engaged. But really, frankly, Deebo, you haven't earned it this year. And there's like 5. I mean, I mentioned Jawan, Ray. There's Use Check. There's a lot of guys who've been playing their asses off who are in peak physical condition that earned it. So you got to be on the field, but maybe you got to be I had people calling him Decoy Samuel in my chat.
Decoy Samuel.
Sorry.
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing is, I'm actually not looking at this as like a disrespectful thing. I just don't know what his role is yet. And maybe Shanahan has it defined. Maybe he's going to do something we're not expecting, but I don't think being a decoy is a bad thing. Now, long-term it is. You didn't pay him to be a decoy, but if he really can draw eyes and get everybody else open and you can motion him around and get creative with them, maybe get him a matchup with a linebacker every once in a while on a Texas route or a wheel route or something like that. Like, I'm cool with that. As long as they win, I think long-term it does become an issue if that's all he is. But for this playoff run, if that's all he has to be, or he can bring that to the table to get other guys open, I don't necessarily look at that as like a slight or a bad thing for this team right now.
Last year when he had that remarkable record-setting year, I don't know if it was record-setting, but it was great.
Yeah.
He was doing more than running back and screens. He caught a lot of slants and digs, a lot of stuff over the middle, like short and intermediate, where he catch the ball and run and gain yards after the catch. Where is that now? The slants and the digs, they don't trust him on that anymore. It's like but he was dropping passes last year too. I don't know what the deal is, but all of a sudden, when it's time to call those plays, it's Ayuk. It's Ayuk 1, Jennings 2. So I don't know, like, can you not? Because if you get the ball to Deebo on that play, he's going to do a lot more after the catch than Ayuk or Jennings. It's just that, like, for some reason, Kyle doesn't trust him to catch the ball anymore or get open. I don't know what it is, but that's your guy. You're paying him. You can't just give up on those. Those are his home run plays. And what's crazy about this season for Deebo is all of his catches are behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Really? You gave him all this money. Like, you can't reduce his role like that. You got to get him down the field, I think.
I think CMC being here, and I also think Jimmy not being the quarterback really hurts what he brings to the team, because he had chemistry with Jimmy. He played with him for a couple years. He has none of that built up with Purdy because he's been injured when Purdy played. He had none of that built up with Trey Lance. And so because of those things, it makes it really, really difficult to get involved in the offense.
Also, he was never in tip-top shape this year. He sat out the whole offseason. He came in what seemed to be 5 pounds overweight, and then never could really quite be healthy long enough to get into shape on the fly. Couldn't do it, which was kind of like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're injured, it's hard to. You're rehabbing. You're not getting in shape. You're rehabbing.
It's true. I'm not saying he dogged it. I mean, that's just sort of like what naturally happens when you hold out and get hurt. That's what happens. So next year, he could be there every step of the way, not get hurt, have a dominant season.
Yes.
But that's not the Deebo we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Deebo coming off an injury, trying to fit his way back into an offense that is frankly a juggernaut without him.
Right.
So like, they could actually get themselves out of rhythm by forcing him 7 touches, 7 opportunities, 7 plays his way. Let's find something he does. Because my question right now is, what play, what route, whatever concept does he do better than anyone else in the team right now? I don't know. Is it the sweep? Is it the screen? Like, nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The burden's on him to show us what it is.
For sure. You're right. And right now we're talking about a different Deebo. If this was Deebo last year,
he was the offense.
In shape. Yeah.
He was the best option on everything. This year, it's not that way. And that's just the NFL for you.